conquest there. You remember God stacked up the water, the city, you remember the city name? Where the water piled up on the Jordan River? Adam or Adam. I only remember it because it's Adam's name, so it's just always that random reference. So the water piled up there, the armies of Israel crossed the Jordan River opposite Jericho. The battle plan was march around the city of Jericho once a day for 6 days, and on the seventh day, march around the city 7 times, shout, the walls will fall down, and you just go in and kill anything that actually didn't otherwise die. The walls coming down actually all by themselves would have taken out a significant portion of the city. They were quite large, quite heavy, and they were, that was the affordable housing section. It was all in and on the walls. So when the walls go, a good chunk of the city just went with them. Plus the military who had been stationed all over the walls in preparation of defending their city. So the bulk of the heavy lifting was done when the walls went down. God said to the children of Israel, when you go in, the city of Jericho is tithe, it is mine, anything that's in here goes immediately into the temple treasury. Don't touch anything. That command was, it's tithe in action. It's the same as, saying to the children of Israel, when you harvest your crops, the first fruits go to me. When you, shear your sheep, the first, God always wants that first portion, that first piece. And so this was just, tithe in action in the military campaign, which really lets us know that tithe is as a principle, doesn't apply just to our money. It's a principle that applies really to just about everything. Chapter 7, we move into the next. They move into the next city, and I don't want to give away too much what's going on here, but needless to say, it involves that tithe element. That's why I bring it back up again. That God said, don't touch anything that's in the city, goods, animals, goods, money, all this stuff goes in the treasury. So we get to chapter 7, and it starts off with this really ominous beginning. But the children of Israel committed a trespass regarding the accursed things, for Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed things. So the anger of the Lord burned against the children of Israel. So here's one guy who decided that he was going to take something. God had already said, everything in the city is mine. And so, God had already laid claim to it. It was God who was doing the doing. God knocked the walls down. God was bringing them in the land of Israel. You could look at this from a bunch of different angles as to why this was absolutely fine for God to lay claim to this. Achan decides to take something from the city of Jericho. What is he doing? Put it in, 3-year-old, 4-year-old vernacular. Right, he's taking something, but he's stealing from God. All of this stuff belongs to God. God has already claimed it all. It was. And so, Achan decides that he sees something he likes. We'll find out a description a little bit further down what this is. But he sees something, he takes it. Achan steals from God. This is God's. It was all supposed to be dedicated right immediately into the tabernacle treasury, and God says it's mine. And Achan says, no, I'm going to take some of this. And that's what sets up now what is to come. So it's a matter of, literally, when you take something that God says, this is mine, you're stealing from God. Just like, somebody walks into your house and takes your TV off the wall. You think it's yours. They think it's theirs. They stole it. Same principle in action. So we get to verse 2. AI.
Which is beside Beth Evan, the east side of Bethel, and spoke to them, saying, go up to this and spy out the country. So the men went up to spy on Ai. And then they returned to Joshua and said to him, do not let the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and attack Ai. Do not weary all the people there, for the people of Ai are few.
So interesting thing now, they're in Jericho. Ai is just outside of Jericho, and So they go and they spy out the land. Joshua he's general, he's military. Go, see what's there, see what we're looking at tactically. So they go, they spy out the land, they're like, this city Ai is like nothing, man. This is just this small little city, there's no walls, it's just, we don't need to bother sending, 500,000 soldiers, might be overkill. Let's just send a couple thousand. A couple thousand men, more than enough. That's already probably overkill. Small area, just go. No sense of troubling everybody. So, from a tactical perspective, Ai was supposed to be easy. Jericho was supposed to be hard. Jericho was easy because God didn't do it. Ai was supposed to be easy because small city, no walls, small army, very little defense that they anticipate. So, verse 4. Good.
So about 3,000 men went up there from the people, but they fled before the men of Ai.
And the men of Ai struck down about 36 men, and they chased them from before the gate as far as Sheldonville, and struck them down on the descent. Therefore the hearts of the people melted to be too much water.
Oh, man. Nothing worse than a little guy beating up the big guy, right? And this is what happens. So they send 3,000 soldiers to Ai. This should have been more than enough. And the Ai rallies their AI defense forces, and they come running out with their pitchforks, and they kill 36 Jews. Now is that a really high casualty rate? Not really. How many casualties has the Jews ever suffered before? None. So this is a first. This is a first. They're now actually having soldiers die in combat. They've never had this happen before. There was this perception almost that we're going to go in, we're just going to kill everybody and nobody's going to die, because that's what it kind of happened. They go in, and they're met by this much smaller force, and they're routed. 36 people die, and just all of the soldiers, their hearts melted. That's an awesome, phrase. It's awesome. They're just courage just went running out, and they went running the other way from these guys, these farmers and their pitchforks. It was a disaster. And the people are in shock. And we see this in Joshua, even in verse 6. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell to the earth on his face before the ark of the Lord until evening. And the elders of Israel, and they put dust on their heads.
And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to God we had been content, and dwelt on the other side of Jordan.
O Lord, what shall I say when Israel returns back to its enemies?
So the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear it, and surround us, and cut off our enemies from the earth. And what will you do to your great name?
Wow. How's this for a response? Like they literally all curl up into a fetal position and start crying. Like as a nation, this is what's happening. I mean, Joshua's literally, you think about it, he's in full mourning. I mean, the rending of the clothes is literally take your outer garments and literally, Hulk Hogan style, just kind of rip them, and then they start grabbing handfuls of dirt, they start throwing dirt up in the air, and it's landing all over. So, they're in shambles now. They're all dirty, and they're ripped clothes, and they're on their face, bowed before God, and they're crying. They're like, God, what are we going to do? We should have just stayed home. That's not what God told them to do. But we should have stayed on the other side of the Jordan. This is a mess. This is terrible. Did you just bring us over here to kill us? Is that really God's plan? No. And they're like, okay, well, what are you going to do when the army starts running away, and then the rest of the peoples of Canaan, they're going to surround us, and they're just going to obliterate us? Then what are you going to do about your great name? Just from a human perspective, it's almost funny looking at it from our perspective. Like, this is ridiculous. 36 people died. It's not, in combat, I understand 36 people died is never a good thing, but in a war, 36 people dying in a given battle is not that significant. Losing the battle, now that's probably more significant because this is one that should have been a layup. And all of a sudden, it's like everybody comes completely undone. God, we lost this battle, and okay, you're dead, we're done. You gotta wonder sometimes what God hears when He hears us. It is. You ever had your kids argue about something ridiculous and actually come to blows about it, and you're in the kitchen going, this is so incredibly stupid. You know, that it's just like, okay, whatever the thing is, the thing doesn't exist anymore. You know, in my house lately, it's been, I want to play on my world. No, I want to play on my world, because we got, you know, they got 3 or 4 kids playing Minecraft on Xbox, not content to play the game, they want to play on their own world. Same experience, just, you know. And you know, I sit there and go, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to cut it down to one world, and then I'm going to throw the CD out the window. You know, DVD, it wasn't so expensive. You know, it's just, but you're like, what does God hear when He hears us? So the Lord said to Joshua, get up. And with an exclamation point. This isn't God going, okay, Joe, it'll be okay. This is God looking at Joshua. Parents, you can figure this one out, right? Get up! What is your problem? Why are you being so ridiculous? Get up! Why do you lie thus on your face? Joshua, this is stupid. Get up. Right, yeah, exactly. You know, maybe clear your vision here a little bit. So I don't know who I preempted, but if you picked up in verse 11.
Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them, for they have taken some of the accursed things, and have both stolen and deceived, and they have also put it among their own stock.
Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs toward their enemies, because they had become doomed to destruction. Neither will I be with you anymore, unless you destroy the accursed from among you.
Get up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, because thus says the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in your midst, O Israel. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you.
So here's the problem. The problem isn't military. The problem is not even particularly physical. The problem is spiritual. The problem has nothing to do with tactics, the number of soldiers, the skill of the AI special ops teams, or the lack of fighting ability of the Jewish army. All of this comes down to God, we read earlier, was angry with the people because somebody had stolen from Him. And so He said, look, I'm not going out with your army until we fix this. You have a spiritual problem in your house, Israel, and that problem is not just the problem of one person. That problem is the problem of one nation. Until you fix this congregationally, corporately, I am not doing anything. It's a crazy thing that God does not always look upon us, relate to us, nor judge us as individuals. It's contrary to our American way of life and thinking. But there is, throughout Scripture, you find many places where God deals in bigger units than individuals. That He deals in families, that He deals in tribes, that He deals in nations. And He looks at His people and He says, look, till you fix this, I'm not going with you. You go, you're going to lose, because I'm not going with you. You're not that good about it. And the illusion is actually, not only am I not going with you, I'll be fighting. Because let's face it, AI really wasn't that impressive. The fact that the children of Israel lost had everything to do with the fact that not only was God not fighting with them, but He was fighting against them. And so He says, look, you deal with this. So Joshua tells the people, sanctify yourselves, we're going to deal with this, there is an accursed thing. Verse 14, in the morning, therefore, you shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which the Lord takes shall come according to families, and the family which the Lord takes shall come by households, and the household which the Lord takes shall come by man.
fire. And all that he had, because he had transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he had not followed Israel.
So here's the process of elimination. We'll send one representative from each tribe. Whichever one God says it's that tribe, we're going to take, we're going to break this down. Tribe level, family level, household level, but man by man. We're going to get to the one. Joshua knows it's not everybody that is the problem here. We're all being affected by it, but it's one person. And so, one or more people, but the idea is here that he understands it's probably just one. So he breaks it down, and he says, look, and here's the punishment. When we figure out who committed the crime, we know the crime has been committed, and here's what the punishment is. Now we just got to figure out who did it so they can have the punishment. And under the law, a lot of things were death. He said that seems extreme, especially when you read what he took. And it does seem extreme, except for the singular fact that he stole from God. Does God take that kindly? Does God take that lightly? No. So we need to just have a cognizance of that when we see it. Go, wow, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Because sin is sin. Missing the mark is missing the mark. Intentionally not shooting at the target is an even bigger problem. And here was a guy who knew everything in the city of Jericho is God's, and who willingly, knowingly decided anyway to go ahead and take it. So it's a big deal. It's a bigger deal than we're usually impressed by as we go on. So let's see where we verse 16.
So Joshua rose early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken.
Friends of Judah came forward and beat the priests of their types. He had the clan of those people come forward by families against Vermont. So Satan, but God was against his men that come forward man by man. And Achan,
Yep.
son of Carmi, the son of Zerim, and the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah was taken.
Joshua said to Achan, my son, I beg you, give glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession to him, and tell me now what you have done, and not hide it from me.
So who has been the one pointing the finger through all this? How do you know it was the tribe of Judah? Right. The Zarites, the Danites, the Zabdites, the Carmites, and all the way down to... So God has been the one going, it's that one, it's that one, it's that one, it's that one. So by the time they get to Achan, God goes, it's that one. Anybody doubt Achan's guilty? So, Joshua's standing there, he's like, okay, Achan, God said you're guilty. Now, you want to tell us what you did? Clear your conscience, confess your sins to God. Does not alleviate the consequence. It's an important fact. We, a lot of times, like to think, oh, when I confess my sins, then that, God forgives me. That means I don't have a consequence. Is that true? Does sorry fix everything? Does sorry fix anything? No. We get it all the time. Luke will smack somebody with a remote in the head. But I said sorry. Okay, well, your brother's still crying and he still hurts. Sorry didn't fix it. Nor did sorry remove the consequence that you have, because we have told you 1 trillion times not to hit people. So there is still a consequence. Still confession, there's still forgiveness, and there's still consequence. And so Achan is guilty. He's been declared guilty by God. He is going to face his consequence, but there's still that element of confession that needs to be there. That's what enables, facilitates, begins this process of forgiveness that is essential, especially since he's going to get the consequence.
And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and this is what I have done.
When I saw among the spoils a beautiful Babylonian garment, 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. And
So that's not a long list of stuff. That's not like chump change though. Let's just stop and think for a second. A wedge of gold, 50, weighing 50 shekels, 200 shekels of silver, and imported silk garments from Babylon. I mean, these are high ticket items. I stole an Armani suit and, a couple bars of silver and a bar of gold, translate into, modern. So this is the big deal though isn't in what he took. He could have just took, a Timex. The fact was he took. That's the problem. But what he took was not insignificant either. So understand, we tend to, the crime is worse because it had greater value. Stealing a pack of gum and, stealing somebody's retirement Ponzi scheme. We rate those as vastly different things, but at the end of the day, we're still stealing. And so, these were high ticket items, but at the end of the day, he was stealing. That was the problem. So, sorry, go ahead.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and there was, in his tent, a silver.
And they took him from the midst of the tent, brought them to Joshua and to all the children of Israel, and they laid them out before the Lord.
Joshua and all Israel took Achan, the son of and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tents, and all that he had, and they brought them into the valley of Engedi.
And Joshua said, why have you troubled us? The Lord will trouble you this day. So all Israel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones.
And I raised over them a great heap of stones, still there to this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Therefore the name of that place has been called the Valley of Achor to this day.
Wow. Well, it was there to the day of this writing. The Valley of Achor, I would have to look, let's see what I have to put up here. I didn't go digging that question. Trouble, Valley of Trouble. I would have to look to see if we know. Right. I'm sure somebody has dug through the dirt to get the gold. I'm like, hey, there's gold there. Hey, let's go dig it. We just need to find a big pile of rocks and start at the bottom, work our way. Probably, somebody has done that. But right, yeah, I would. Some gold just isn't worth it. And I'm thinking that, this is a big deal. Wow. Does your sin affect your children? If you're an alcoholic, does it affect your children? If you're a pothead, does it affect your children? If you can't manage your own time, does it affect your children? If you're an angry person, does it affect your children? If you're a lazy person, does it affect your children? Our sin and the consequences of our sin affects our children. So on the surface, again, wow, this seems like God's just being brutal. But it's not. This is just life. This is reality. Our sin and our consequences don't just impact us. We are not islands in the sea of humanity. We are part of a continent in the sea of humanity. And that we need to see that. And I think on one level we get it, and yet on another level we don't, because we're like that independent spirit. I can do what I want to do. I'm a master. I have my own consequences, and that doesn't even work in cheap fiction. Certainly not in life. Our children will bear our consequences. My constant hope and prayer is that my kids are better people than I am. My fear is that they won't be, because they see me, they see who I am. The shortcomings that I have as a person are already manifesting in my kids because I'm the one raising them. So you can pray for my kids. Not pray for yours. Because, what? Yes. Right, and it's not God passing them down. It's us passing them down. We pass down our sins, we pass down our consequences, and they go. So chapter 8. We don't have time to read this, so let me just tell you what happened. This time around, Joshua says, let's trouble the entire army. We'll get everybody up to this fight. They deal with Achan, they get all confessed out. The whole army goes over to Ai. Now, there are more people moving into position around Ai than there are people in Ai by several scores. What do you think happens? They win Ai. Yeah. No more casualties, no more losses there. They start, back onto this plan of victory because they dealt with the sin. The applications of this particular story are just, they're monstrous. When we sin, we lose God's favor, oftentimes turning God against us rather than for us. It's not popular Christianity to say God would be against me because of my sins, but it is kind of Bible Christianity. Popular Christianity says I can do what I want. God's so much easier to run the lamp just right, and he'll come out and do whatever. That's really not how God works. At least that's not how He revealed to us through His Word. That's how He works. We can, through our own sin, turn God's favor against us. Worse, we can turn God's favor against our family. We can turn God's favor against our church. We can turn God's favor against our nation, because God thinks in bigger units than just one. I have seen instances, and you may know of instances or think of instances, where one person's sin within a church body will actually turn God's favor against that church. And a church will grow, a church will die, a church will wither until they deal with it. And it may not be the entire congregation, it may just be one person that is toxic, affecting the whole. Jesus said in the New Testament, little leaven leavens the lump. And if I can get this out right, it's always interesting. The leaven leavens the lump doesn't lump the leaven. Say that 3 times fast. Just glue your pictures first. That's the problem we run into, is that it permeates and affects adversely. And so I would just, for me, it's just a call to awareness and a call to personal holiness. Say, look, my sin, though it may be mine, the consequences may be shared with my family. The consequences may be shared with my church family. The consequences may be shared with my New England region. The consequences may even be shared with the United States of America. You say, God, would you do that? Really? Have you looked around ever? Huh? Right. He's a just God. People are, oh, God understands. Yeah, He does understand, but it doesn't mean He accepts it. He's still a just God. So we need to close with that because we're past the time. So, Father, we love You. We thank You for today. We thank You for Your word. Lord, would You help us to see You for who You are, holy, righteous, just. Help us to see us for who we are as well. Lord, we are fallen, we are flawed, we're frail. We're prone to sin. We're thankful for Your forgiveness. Lord, would You help us, though, to realize that